Hello, hello, hello. My name is Kyle Van Voris with Voris.com. And today we're going to be discussing how you can set a revenue target for your organization. Let's dive right in. All right, if you have a sales team, you're constantly setting targets for that sales team that you expect them to hit. Well, sometimes we don't set the right target. Either we're too aggressive or we're way too easy. So in this resource I'm going to provide to you, it gives you a way to figure out what revenue target you should set based on the size of your team. Let's dive right in. All right, so this sheet is very simple. We're going to plug in some key data points and it's going to tell us what our revenue target should be. Really simple. It's more of a calculator than it is anything else. So I'm going to go through it top to bottom here and explain what each section is so that way you can follow along. And if you look in the description below, you'll see a link to this document. You can go ahead and grab that. All right, so the first section is a setup section. This is where we put in all of the information. First is your total addressable market, or TAM. And this is really just a number of all of the possible companies you can sell to. So in this example, let's say you have 30,000 companies you could possibly sell to that are in your target market. The next, average contract value per deal. And let's say it's 20,000. A deal closes, on average, it's about a $20,000 deal. How many SDRs do you have? How many AEs do you have? How many activities per month do you expect from each SDR? We have 2,000 here. That's 100 activities a day. That's usually my standard. Activities per month, AE, 500. I typically, AEs don't prospect and don't have enough time to prospect at higher quantities. So I put 500 here. I do expect SDRs and AEs to be prospecting. So it shouldn't just be an SDR only prospecting situation. So you put those numbers in here. The time frame that you're going to be setting this target for. So if it's going to be a quarter, you put 3 months. In this case, we're going to put 12 months. It's going to be a year target. How many average attempts per account? So if you target multiple decision makers, this might be a lot higher. We're putting 10 here, but if you have multiple decision makers over the course of the year, each account, how many times will they be called, emailed, LinkedIn outreach? Put in the number that makes the most sense. Next, you'll see the activity to demo ratio. So if I make 100 calls, how many demos do I book? 1, 0.75. Let's use 1% because I think that's pretty normal. All right, show rate. What is your show rate? It's 50%? Uh-oh. We'll use 80% for this example. And then qualify rate, when they do show up, what percentage of the time do they qualify? This might be 100%. Like if you can sell to anybody that has a chiropractic office, then this would be 100%. But we'll use 70 because a lot of times there are disqualifiers that companies are going to use. So we'll put that there. And then finally, the close rate. Let's say your close rate's 20%. Now, the next section here is the math, and it's really going to break everything down. So you can see total team activities, the demos that were booked from that, the ones that showed up, qualified, and closed. And then finally, it's just going to calculate for you the revenue that'll be achieved. So this is saying your revenue target should be 1.3 million, assuming all the numbers you put in the setup section are correct. On the right, you'll see a few more data points that you might find interesting, like total activities that cover the total addressable market, the qualified deals here, the SOM, the total revenue based on SOM, the TAM converted, and the SOM converted. So you have like your kind of your penetration into the total addressable market. Okay. So the next section here is actually the breakdown. This is where you get a temperature check to make sure things are realistic. So you can see team monthly, how many total activities they're doing, demos booked, showed, qualified, and then closed. And then finally per rep. So SDRs is going to be 20 demos per SDR. AEs are going to be 5 demos per AE. 16 demos showed per SDR, 4 demo shows per AE, 11 qualified deals for an SDR, 2.8, leading to a total of a 2.8 closed deals. That's it. So fill out the sheet, very, very simple, and get the revenue target that's going to make the most sense for you. And then finally, go and double check, make sure that those are realistic numbers. If it says each SDR is going to be responsible for 100 meetings a month, probably not attainable. This way you have full visibility into everything you need in order to determine, is this revenue target achievable for my team? Because if you don't set achievable numbers, what you're going to run into is you're going to run into unhappy salespeople because they're not going to be able to meet their on-target earnings. And you're also going to hurt your customer acquisition costs because you're paying salaries for these salespeople who aren't meeting what you need them to meet in order to hit the revenue target. It totally ruins your customer acquisition calculation. And you want to make sure that you have these things really well buttoned up. And if you like this kind of content, make sure you like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below what you'd like to see next, and we'll talk soon.